welcome to the Tuesday Business Training Call. This is Stacy Sova from home office, joined by my brother, Dave Webb.
Hi, Stace.
We're going to do this call together with you guys because it's a topic that we both feel passionate about, and it's a topic that we both have some insight to bring to the table. And we're going to talk about cold market versus warm market. Did I tell you that, Dave? That's
yes, thank you. No, we have discussed, we have a little bit of forewarning, heads up, and like you said, these are topics that you and I enjoy.
Yeah. You
have way more field experience than I do. I was a middling distributor for a company about 23 years ago.
Yeah.
And gave it a couple of good runs, had some good enrollments, did some good presentations, but found that I feel better suited for the corporate side. But that doesn't mean I couldn't learn and appreciate some of the great things that we're going to talk about today.
Awesome. I love both sides of it. And I mostly love the relationship part, probably why I'm on the sales side. I get to work with our field. And so I do love this too. And this is a really popular topic. And so I'm going to just go to our first slide, which is just pictures. So warm market versus cold market. And you can kind of see the difference in this imaging. You know, your warm market are the people you feel the most comfortable with. It's the people who are your current customers or past customers or hosts if you are doing the party side. You may have VIP groups that you market to. These are the people who've just come into your life and you just feel you can have an easy conversation. You can pick up the phone and say, oh my gosh, we got this great new product called BU. You've got to try it. Here's why. Because they have that relationship with you and they have that trust with you. But, you know, your warm market only has so much money to spend, right? I mean, and they only want you to call so many times a week, right? And so, you know, it's important that you keep them informed and you keep them close to you and you are their BU associate. But it's also important that we're adding to that warm market all the time. And the way we do that is by dipping our toe in the cold market, which can be a little bit scary.
And part of that warm market maintenance is to not be so warm that they want to go cold. You don't want to keep picking on people and well, I only know 7 people, so I'm just going to call the daylights out of their phone. Then they're going to start to get cold and you know, call waiting and call screening are good things, but they're also, if I can see who's calling. Yeah. If I know my boy's going to invite me to pay for his dinner again, I might not pick up his call.
Exactly. I remember
That's literally my son who does that.
Who does that
all
to
the
you?
time. Hey, what are you guys doing tonight? Do you want to meet for dinner? Of course we do.
Yeah. Bill's on you, Dad.
Correct.
Yeah, you know, and when I was teaching before I got involved in direct sales, my childcare provider did 3 different direct sales companies. And I felt like every day I had to take a breath before I walked in to pick my kids up because I knew she was going to hit me with something. And so definitely you just don't want people to feel that way. But approaching a cold market can be scary too because you don't know how. Like, how do you break the ice? Some people are more conversationalists than others. And you know, like we all love Ryan and we know he can strike up a conversation anywhere with anyone. And by the end of the conversation, they love him and he's their new best friend.
Yep.
He's so good at that. So there's no such thing as a cold market to Ryan Anderson.
Right, it's true.
But to most of us, there is, right? And so how do you break into that? So we want to talk about that a little bit today and give you some ideas. And the first one is to be a product of the product. And I just put a product from our 3 brands up here because what I want you to think about is that being a product of the product is, of course, you're using it. Now, if you're a guy like Dave doesn't wear wraps on his nails all the time, but sometimes we might get him to test a product out. But your wife could, right? You know, our gut health, like truly that is for everybody. Our sticks, you know, just everything that we have. If you want to focus on a particular line, by all means, we want you to do that, but be a product of that product. So.
And I apologize.
No, go right ahead.
I cut it right off, but being a product of the product, at the same time, we know that being a product of the product means we wake up and we take our mix of drinks. I have my hydration, my core, and my go that I love so much. And then during the day, I'll take my pre and probiotics and I'll have Digestival around my meal times. And I'll have Smart if I have a business presentation I need to make and impress Stacy and Ryan, which is so hard, you guys. You got to know how important that is to me. But being a product of the product also means being very public in being a product. And so instead of, in my case where it's, I wake up and my wife knows that I work for Benny U and my coworkers know that I work for Benny U, it's not as big a deal for me to say, hey guys, I'm having my choreo right now and it's so fantastic. I'm feeling the anti-inflammatory effects immediately. But I'm gonna jump in. I don't know if you had this already planned for later in the show.
No, I want you to do it now because I want you to talk about what we talked about earlier today.
I love it. This was picked up from a gentleman who had some great success in this industry with similar packaging, totally different product. It was a coffee product, but the packaging is similar to our hydration sticks. So I'm looking at that. That's about a 5.5-inch stick, and you guys know the sound. That sound right there.
Shaking that stick up.
So you always want to open it at a certain end because you don't want the powder puffing out all around you. So what do? We grab one end, and then we give it a little back and forth, a little shake. Well, that automatically is going to draw attention. So if I'm in public, and the best thing is if I'm at a ball game, if we've got some kids in our neighborhood who play soccer, so I like to go support them at their soccer matches. And so I'll have my hydration stick with me, and I'll just break out my choreo and I'll start shaking it around at the gym or at the ballpark. And then I peel that off and I make a big show, pouring that in and just licking my lips.
Now you gotta shake it up.
I can't wait. And you're shaking it up. Everybody is going to notice, and I promise you, somebody's going to ask.
Yeah, what
do
that?
You got there? Oh, I work for this great company. We've introduced an anti-inflammatory beverage. It's an additive to just regular water. It helps me get more water in my day. I feel great. I haven't had allergies for, I go through the
That's
effects.
The next slide, and you just did a great job.
Well, I apologize.
No, it's your 30-second commercial. No, that's perfect. That's exactly.
It's that fast motion that people can say, hey, what do you got going on there? Oh, it's this. And then let them keep asking the questions. So that way I'm not your daycare provider, okay, here comes Miss Stacy.
I'm going to let her specials this month.
I'm going to let her have it. But if you make it more conversational, and these are, thankfully, they're everyday things. You can have a Digest Well with you at mealtime. You watch the meal come in, you throw back that Digest Well packet, and people say, hey, what do you got there? What are you doing?
Well, you mean the pre-probiotic packet, right? Because that's what I was thinking.
No, the Digest Well, right.
The tablets. You pop the tablet.
Yep.
Yeah, you pop the tablets. It's the same thing. So the sticks, the tablets, the pre-probiotics.
Make it a public display.
Very same thing. And often, and I know that's why our associates like to have clear water bottles too, because people will say, hey, what is that? Is it a Crystal Light? And we're like, oh no, it's not. It's so much better because. And then the third line is our beauty line, and the nails are really easy. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's very rare.
Here's what's funny, because you're like Ryan, because you can also make friends with anybody you talk to at any time.
Thank you.
But you have these great nails, and so Stacy is a product of the product. And I think it's kind of inbred into you. It's just second nature now. I'm changing my nails. I'm going to have a new one.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
always.
Do this.
Yeah.
By the outfit, for heaven's sake, sometimes.
Yes, yeah,
But tell about, you're doing a test right now. I'm glad we're not on live stream, because this is a product that is not yet released.
Yes, I am testing a product.
Tell what happened.
Yeah, so, this was, actually it wasn't with this product. I had our lacquer strips on, which are nice and sparkly, which always tend to draw attention. And if it's not a lacquer strip, if you look at the one on the screen, it's just a pretty design. People will always comment, oh, your nails are so pretty. And so instead of saying, well, thank you, I say, well, actually, thanks so much. It's the company that I work for. So if I'm an associate, I'd say, it's my company. This is what I do. I work for a company called Benny U that has amazing nail products that lets you express yourself every day. So I can change my nails like I change my clothes. And this happened last week. I was I had an appointment somewhere, and the girl said to me, she's like, oh my gosh, your nails are so cute. I did my little spiel, and she's like, well, how do I order those? It was that easy.
It was that straightforward. I love it.
And I happen to have an accent duo in my purse, so I gave her that.
See, and that's human nature. We want to, especially if you see something great. If I see a great pair of, like I'm a Nike guy, I love Nike shoes. If I see someone that I haven't seen before, where did you get those? And they'll give me their special website. There's a couple that are out there. I'm like, I got to check that out, because I'm naturally curious. And if I see something I like or I can appreciate, I'm going to ask about it. Same thing with nails. If you're drinking a hydration, if you're doing a pre and probiotic stick, you're going to generate some interest in someone. You're not going to get 90 out of 90 people at your kids lacrosse tournament or at your the ballet recital. Not every single person is going to say something, but somebody will.
Well, when I was in the field, I always, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, but I was not only a product of the product, I wore advertising.
You're swagged out.
I was swagged out always, and they knew what I did and they knew who to come to. So let's keep going. And so basically, what is your response? Oh, Stace, oh, those nails look so pretty. Or, hey, Dave, what are you drinking there? Why is your drink purple? Or, you know, what is it?
Why is your spirit so bright? Why are you so alive right now?
Why are you, why are you popping these pills? Is that Tums? Is that Tums? You know, and
It used
so
to be.
you have to be ready. Do you have your 30-second commercial? Your 30-second commercial has to feel natural to you. You heard Dave and I just rattle a couple off of our tongues, but what it needs to do is it needs to create interest and create a conversation that leads to more info. And what I mean by that is them asking more questions. And so that you can create a follow-up. So for instance, if someone said to me, okay, what did you just pour in your water that you're drinking? Is it good? You know, and like what Dave said, go ahead, say your first part. Remember what you said about the company with hydration?
Yeah, it's an anti-inflammatory beverage. It helps me not have allergy attacks anymore, and it helps my arthritis joints feel better.
I don't get it. How does it work? See, that's the point. He says something that makes me ask a question. I don't get it. How does it work?
So if I started by saying, let me tell you about this mangosteen fruit and xanthones, and if you go into the scientific explanation, they're going to shut right down.
Exactly.
And I remember, and I'm speaking from painful experience, because when I was an independent representative for another company 20 years ago, I felt like I had to give all the information that I had just received. Over the course of weeks, I felt like I had to do something in 3.5 minutes to lock this person into all the wonderful information I had, including information that I didn't like this soap smells really bad, but it's very effective.
Right.
Well,
and so
it smells bad.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have to know all that if I ever wanted. And so, and exactly. I'm not a scientist.
The result was I was a very poor enroller. I was great at follow-up. I was great at presenting, but I could not get people to sign up because I made it too complicated for them. So now, after learning from a couple of different companies and from the magic of Stacy and the people that we've met in these great brands, people know how to do it. And it really is underselling. That's really a remarkable thing.
You ever heard that? KISS, keep it simple.
Keep it simple, salesman.
Silly.
Okay, good.
But
I have heard the last word.
Yes,
but I appreciate that.
So keep it simple. Does it generate interest? So he said enough in the beginning that made me go, really? How does that work? And so then he can say, well, actually, it's, the mangosteen fruit. Not sure if you've ever heard of it, but I'd love to share more information with you. In fact, I have a sample that I could give you. How about if I give you the sample, let me get your contact information so I can follow up and see what you thought about it.
Perfect. And that way, again, simplicity is always going to help people feel like if they ever look back on their first experience, they can say, oh, they didn't go overboard with information. They didn't have to give me a 19-minute presentation. They really just answered a couple of simple questions and let me try the product for myself.
Yeah, and you can charge for that sample. You can do whatever you want to do. But the reality is that you want to create the opportunity for follow-up. And here's a rule that I always give to the field. Always, always, always. You can't give anything away without getting something in return. And that even goes for your business card. If you give out a business card, I am requiring you that you get their contact information so that you can follow up. So because it's great to get the stuff out there, but if you have no way to follow up or they lose that business card, even with their best intentions, then you've lost the whole opportunity for the customer.
There are people on this call who are looking back wistfully and they're saying, oh my gosh, that happened to me. I gave somebody all my info. I gave them all the information they had. And then 6 weeks later, I saw them at an event because they had someone else follow up with them.
Yeah, they lost my information. Yep. They lost my information. Yep, for sure. Because it happens, right? We all get busy. And I've done that where I found a card in my purse from like a year later. And I'm like, oh, shoot, So that's a rule. So never give anything away when you don't get their information. And people, when you ask for it, and I say, hey, Dave, it was so great to meet you. Can I get your, what's the best way to contact you? Is it email or text?
Perfect.
And you're going to tell me, and I'm going to say, great, can I get that info from you? I want to follow up what you think.
And let's be honest, anymore, you don't really use a phone to call.
No.
I will call my children.
Yeah.
I have 2 boys.
Mine don't answer.
They don't answer. But if I send a text,
they answer.
Boom, here you go. Oh,
well, 2 out of my 3 answer pretty good.
Well, we have your favorite. Obviously, he'll answer for you. I know.
No, he's the one. Yeah, no, I don't have a favorite. No, no, no.
Joking.
Next,
Joking.
okay, next slide. Let's keep going. So 30-second commercial in response to being a product of a product. Advertise your business. So here you have products from our swag store. You see our Benny U Pace Sitters water bottle. You know, when you're out, that's when you want to be wearing your products. So people are like, what's Benny U? Because you know they're going to ask. They're going to say, what's Benny U? Again, what's your 30-second commercial?
Yep.
Because this is opening it up for you for what your 30-second commercial is. It should generate interest, make them ask another question like, oh, have you been in business for long? Or what kind of products do you sell? And then say, well, actually, let me tell you what we have. You know, we have 3 brands, blah, blah, blah. You know, you guys know what to do. You know what kind of questions to ask. Generate interest, you know, whatever little bit you might know about them that may lead you down the health and wellness side or down the beauty side. And you can just get a feeling for it. This weekend I was out and there was this lady at the store that I was at, and she was dressed so springy. She had yellow pants on and she had this pretty sweater. And I'm like, oh, you look so pretty. You are so ready for spring. So for me, it would have been a natural thing to, you know, talk about like, let me see your nails or something, to have gone down that road, because I struck up a conversation with her and she was like, well, thank you for saying that. You just made my day. You know, and maybe when I'm talking, I'm flashing my nails the whole time, and maybe she's going to comment on those. I don't know. But it's just creating that interest and generating that conversation, getting that conversation to start so that they ask you questions.
And this is a great place to remind about BennyUSwag.com. And that website has these t-shirts and hat. The Benny U water bottle there you must earn. That's part of the Pace Setter promotion that we have going on. And information is coming out about that.
More information
soon. But again,
hint, hint, surprise, surprise.
Pay attention, heads up, guess what? But if you see, I mean, we're a little monochromatic on here. We're a little gray and black right now, but we're expanding into some color options, especially as spring and summer are hitting. But these are available at BennyUSwag.com. Now, this is not a profit generating business for us. We make it available at what this company that we've partnered with will help us do, because they are doing it without having to carry inventory. That's a big deal. So we're not using warehouse space. We're not using shelving out here in our giant warehouse.
To pre-purchase.
Exactly. So what we do is they take the orders as they come in, and then they custom print and they deliver for us, and everything is fulfilled through them. So we want to remind BennyUSwag.com and send us a request. I think it's safe to say support@BennyU.com. Or if you call the toll-free number, 855-750-9937. We're eager to take your suggestions, including suggestions about what products are coming out, about what you'd like to see happen, about what color you'd like a shirt to be. We're always open to things like that. So again, support@BennyU.com. Also, 855-750-9937 is the corporate number here, and we're happy to take those suggestions.
And we just love for you to be swagged out, so that when you're out in public, so like let's say you're doing you know, if you have a get together already happening and people are coming together to someone's home, you really don't need to wear your Benny U shirt because they already know why you're there. But you would want to wear it to your kid's soccer game or baseball game or dance recital or out and about running errands, because when you strike up a conversation, people will say, Benny U, what's that? I never heard of that.
I'm thinking right now, I'm just picturing a really smart parent out there buying 15 t-shirts that say Benny U and branding the soccer team.
Wow, I know people that did that. So the next thing is attraction marketing. And so this is using social media to generate interest. You use personal testimonials or testimonials of others with their permission. And the key here is you don't talk about the product, but you talk about the results. You generate interest for them to follow up with you for more information. And then finally, my last question is, are you sharing your why regularly on social media with images? And so let me go back and talk about this a little bit more. I am sucked into this every day by people that I know and don't know through attraction marketing. They don't tell me what their company is, but they tell me how great they're feeling, or how much weight they've lost, or how much energy they have, or how much more time they're spending with their kids. And I'm like, what the heck is she doing?
And excited for a trip, and all the little things that spark your interest.
Yes. And I saw a lot of our field, actually, when we just did a lot of recognition this last week, they were reposting that about how proud they were to be part of that recognition. That's attraction marketing, because then I went through and I read the messages that your friends were commenting like, way to go, I knew you had this in you,
Yeah.
you're a rock star, things like that. And so it's going to make people go, well, what is she doing?
Yeah.
There's lots of people who are doing the Love Your Gut challenge. They're posting on that. There's people who are doing weight loss, and there's people who are just posting about how good they feel about, changing their expression with their nails, whatever the case may be, making people want to know information. And so using those testimonials is super important. You have them on your teams, you have them yourself, get permission and share those, how proud you are of them or how happy that you are for them. Again, you don't want to blast Benny you, choreo, because then they have all the information they need and they'll just go on and Google it.
Right.
And they don't need to come to you for more information. So
That's,
you want to be that source of information for them.
That's what I love when you say show results.
Yes,
talk
show
about
results.
Talk about outcomes, talk about, you have the feature, the advantage, and the benefit. If you talk about the benefit, that will lead them to asking about, well,
yes, what is it
that makes it do that, and why is that better than if I got it somewhere else?
Right.
But you're leading, like you say, with the benefit and the result.
Exactly. And then sharing your why, you guys. This is super, super attraction marketing. Like Dave said, I'm going on an all expenses paid trip to Cabo in 2 weeks. I can't wait to hang out with some of the most fun people I've ever known. People are going to be like, wait, what? How are you going there for free? I get to be here to get my kids off the bus every day. I'm so thankful for my home-based business. Wait, what? What the heck is she doing? I felt better than I've ever felt in my life. I have energy. I'm up. I'm moving. I'm up. Whatever it is, your why. And when people see it over and over, in like every couple weeks, you're posting with, I get to do this business because I get more time with my family, or I get to do this business because I get to leave one of my 3 jobs, or I get to do this business because I feel better and my health is so important and I'm finally taking control of my life. People are going to be like, what is she doing? What is he doing?
Love it.
So you want to make sure that your why, so not just product testimonials or those kinds of things, but your why is really clear and being shared over and over again, because people are going to want to learn more. So you're just planting those seeds, and they don't all come to fruition at the same time, but it's the people who stick in it the longest that see most of those come back to them.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So attraction marketing is a big deal. So that's it. That's what I have. I mean, it's simple. It's just really, cold market feels scary, but it's really not. It's about creating conversations, making yourself, what you might have to do is a little bit different than normal. You've got to be ready with your 30-second commercial. You want to have maybe samples or business cards that you can pass out and follow up, so that maybe you could get together with them and share a sample later. But being ready and open to have those conversations. And I used to challenge my team all the time that they had to make 5 new contacts every day during the work week. And so that when they went to the grocery store, they had to talk to the checkout person. Like, I would just challenge them. And when I held meetings, sometimes we had meetings at like a mall, like a food court or something. And we actually got kicked out of a mall once because I gave them all an assignment that they had to go get 20 new contacts. And I think that was called soliciting or something. I don't know. We did get in trouble. Awesome. But it's really about just, once you start to stretch that comfort zone and have conversations with people, it becomes more and more comfortable, and you become Ryan.
Well, and I don't want to put that pressure on anybody because, goodness, I don't know if we have the energy to be Ryan, and I know I don't have the energy to be Stacy. But the way you put it, when you have simplicity as your goal, I'm always picturing the people who are, my wife, for example, is not, she's friendly and she's wonderful and charming, but she is not outgoing. She won't go reach out to someone to say, let me tell you about my life and how it's awesome, and maybe yours is too. She is more stand back, and maybe it's because I'm such a loudmouth, she needs to balance the relationship. But when I think about how people need to feel comfortable with what they're doing, we're not asking any, I mean, everybody says, get out of your comfort zone. That's where the magic happens.
You just have to stretch a little bit.
That's it. You just stretch a little bit. So it's not, and when we say 30-second commercial, we don't mean memorize 188 words that are going to take that long to say it. What we mean is know the 2 or 3 key things that you're excited about, and then just be eager to share them with a smile. You can open so many doors by just smiling and saying, oh my gosh, you would be so fantastic at my business.
Mm-hmm.
You just smile. Like
Mm-hmm.
I always picture a server at a
Mm-hmm.
restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
because they have what we call bright eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And you get someone who gets, if they're just taking your order and they're not paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
but if they engage, or if they
Mm-hmm.
make a little comment about your kids, or if they're a little bit funny back, you say, you know what, your personality is so dynamic, you would be super successful in my business.
Yeah, you'd be great at what I do. And they'd be like, well, what do you do?
That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really just about and I always find that whenever I have good service anywhere, then I always say, you would be so great at what I do. Have you ever thought about it? And I know sometimes we go into stores and we know exactly what we're looking for, but we say, and they say, can I help you? And you're like, no, I got this. But you're looking for, a black tie and black shoes. Wouldn't it be so much easier to say, actually, I need a black tie and I need black shoes in this color. Can you help me find them? And then when they do their job, you have that conversation with them.
That's great. It's a great idea.
So anyway, so that's it from us today, you guys. A little bit about just breaking into the cold market, just stretching yourself a little bit. Every little bit just makes you grow more and more. And like you said, all the great things are just on the other side of that comfort zone sometimes. So
straight simplicity is really key.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Have a great day, and we will talk with you again next week.
Everybody be well. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.